Moore,
Here.
O'Kane,
Here.
Shaner, here. Scott,
Here.
Waters.
Here. We stand for a moment of silent prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Rachel here.
Don't have much slack today.
Proclamations, I guess. So we got. The Red Ribbon Campaign is the oldest and largest drug prevention program in the nation and a way for people and communities to take a visible stand against the misuse of substance. Whereas Red Ribbon Week celebrates the memory of drug enforcement agent Enrique Camarena, who was tortured and violently murdered in 1985 by drug traffickers while serving as an undercover drug agent in Mexico. And the Red Ribbon symbolizes a commitment to no illegal use of substance. Now, therefore, I, Robert E. Scott, Mayor of the City of Sioux City, Iowa, on behalf of City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of October 23rd to the 31st, 2022 as Red Ribbon Week in Sioux City, and call upon all citizens to join the City of Sioux City and Siouxland Cares in our community-wide effort to promote this year's theme, Celebrate Life, Live Drug-Free. I present this to you, say a few words if you'd like.
I just wanted to thank the council and the city for all the promotion you always do of Siouxland Cares, of the Mayor's Youth Commission, of course. I'm going to hand out to the council some red ribbons that our young ambassadors actually put together this week. So I'd encourage you to wear it all week, and everyone this week, if you can just make sure that you're thinking about making healthy choices and encouraging that in Siouxland, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Tom and Sherry Stewart. Seems like they ought to give you a little check for having the best of the year. I'm going to work on Councilman Moore to see if he'll throw a little in the pot for next year. Whereas Tom and Sherry Stewart have created a beautiful yard that contributes greatly to the beauty of their neighborhood and to the city of Sioux City. And where it is right and fitting that city leaders commend and thank Tom and Sherry for the time and effort they have put forth in creating this beautiful and peaceful setting. Whereas we are grateful for them for using their time and talent to beautify their corner of the world in what is obviously a labor of love. Now, therefore, I, Robert E. Scott, Mayor of the City of Sioux City, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby commend Tom and Sherry Stewart of 2801 South Cecilia on being named the recipient of Sioux City's Yard of the Year Award and thank them for making Sioux City a much more beautiful place to live.
Thank you very much. We'd like to thank the Sioux City Journal and the judges for choosing a native plant garden as Yard of the Year. It's gratifying to have our work honored like this, but it's also important for us to be able to spread the message about how important native plants are to our ecosystem.
Well, thank you very much for decorating like you did.
Thank you.
Jenna Andrews. We have another proclamation that reads, whereas Lights On After School, the national celebration of after-school programs held this year on October 20th, 22, promotes the importance of quality after-school programs in the lives of children, families, and communities. Whereas more than 28 million children in the United States have parents who work outside the home, and 19.4 million children have no place to go after school. Whereas Beyond the Bell, Girls Inc. and the Boys and Girls Club have provided significant leadership in the area of community involvement in the education and well-being of our youth, grounded in the principle of quality after-school programs, are key to helping our children become successful adults. Whereas Sioux City, Iowa is committed to investing in the health and safety of all young people by providing expanded learning opportunities that will close the achievement gap and prepare young people to compete in a global economy. Now, therefore, I, Robert E. Scott, Mayor of the City of Sioux City, Iowa, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim October 20th, 2022 as Lights On After School Day and encourage our community to engage in innovative after-school programs and activities that ensure the lights stay on and the doors stay open for all children after school. present that to you and say a few words.
All right. Yeah, just another thank you for all of you for recognizing this day and supporting programs like Beyond the Bell, Girls Inc., and Boys and Girls Club, and the work that we do.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We have a proclamation that reads, whereas Rotary International, founded in 1905, is the world's first and one of the largest nonprofit service organizations with more than 36,000 clubs around the world. The Rotary International motto, service above self, inspires members to provide humanitarian service, encourage high ethical standards, and promote goodwill and peace in the world. Whereas in 1985, Rotary International launched Polio Plus and spearheaded a global initiative to immunize the children of the world against polio. And thus far, polio cases have dropped by 99.9% since 1988. Whereas to date, Rotary has contributed more than $2.2 billion in countless volunteer hours to the protection of nearly 3 billion children in 122 countries. Rotary recognizes that the Sioux City area was ravaged by one of the most serious polio epidemics in the country in 1952, and local healthcare workers treated a great number of children affected with polio. Whereas the Rotary Club of Sioux City service projects have addressed health, hunger, education, literacy, and environment in our community for 110 years. Now, therefore, I, Robert E. Scott, Mayor of the City of Sioux City, Iowa, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim October 24th, 2022 as World Polio Day in Sioux City and encourage all citizens to join me and Rotary International in the fight for a polio-free world. Say a few words if you would like to present that. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you. As the proclamation said, we're nearly there, and so we appreciate the support from the city in recognizing this important day, World Polio Day, and hopefully we'll cross that line shortly so that 100% of the kids are protected and the world is eradicated from polio. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Okay, we'll go to the items 2 through 13, which is the consent agenda, considering to pass unanimously. If you want to speak on an item, please come up as I read it. If you want to speak on an item not on the agenda, please come up under citizen concerns. Remember, whenever you come to the microphone, to state your name and address for the record. I'll move the consent agenda.
Second.
2 is reading of the City Council minutes of October 17, 2022. 3 is a resolution temporarily closing various streets in the downtown area on November 21st for the downtown holiday lighted parade and staging. 4, I'll make a motion to approve the Bainbridge bid for the Alicia Avenue paving improvement project.
Second.
Just for clarification, would this be for an award to Bainbridge and we would come back with an approval on the contract documents?
Yes.
O'Kane.
Aye.
Shaner.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Number 5 is a resolution adopting plans and specs for Alicia Avenue paving improvement projects. I'll move to delete.
Second.
Shaner.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
O'Kane.
Aye.
6 is a resolution authorizing payment to KP Construction for the 12th Street and Iowa Street Storm Sewer and Pavement Repair Project. 7 are resolutions awarding a purchase order to HiChem for polymer and Hyperflock. 8, library is a motion approving the Library Board of Trustees annual report. B is a resolution amending the position classification manual by adopting the updated descriptions for the library assistant and systems administrator.
Mayor, I'd like to just make a couple comments on 8A. Reading through that, I noticed, very grateful to the library, we are 20% more items are being checked out. 29% of those are e-resources. 67% more computer lab usage and 23% more Wi-Fi utilization. So I think that we've made some great strides in the digital expansion of the library. And I just want to give a thank you to Helen and the staff for continuing to push that and connect people with those resources.
Helen Rigdon, City Library Director. Thank you. Yeah, staff has worked really hard. We're seeing a good bounce back. We were scared that our digital numbers would maybe kind of decline since people were getting back out and getting back to the library, but they continued to be strong. So we continue to move some money around to put toward those resources. So thank you.
Good job.
Yeah. I was just going to echo those same comments. I just wanted to commend you, and I think you got a lot of impressive figures here, so great work and keep it up.
Thank you. I will pass on your compliments to the staff.
No doubt.
Thank you. 9 are actions relating to grants. A is a resolution authorizing the police department to accept the Department of Justice Bulletproof Vest Body Armor Initiative. B is Human Rights Commission. 1 is a resolution accepting the Special Enforcement Efforts Cooperative Agreement from HUD as their main replacement project. B is their bid was similar, I think, to what they bid the last time, Mercy. So we're certain we're going to get the same level of care for 2/3 the price.
Janelle Bertrand, Human Resources Director. If I recall, yes, the bids for Mercy were similar. This is just the wellness platform for where you enter points to get the wellness incentive. So it's just a better, more customized platform than what we could get with Mercy.
Okay. C is a resolution granting a permit to Fibercom to maintain underground cable in the area of Iowa Street, Forest Street, and Floyd Boulevard. D is a resolution approving amendment number 1 to the consulting services agreement with DGR Engineering for the Outer Drive and Floyd Boulevard pedestrian crossing project. E is Mark Albanesius. A1 is a resolution approving a contract to Mark Albanesius for the Hamilton Boulevard paving improvements project. 2 is a resolution awarding a service provider agreement to Mark Albanesius for the Riverside Park Outfall project. 11 are actions relating to property. A is a resolution proposing to sell property near Peavy Street, 14th Street, and Parkview Boulevard. The petitioner are the trustees of the Robert Bertrand Revocable Trust. B is a resolution proposing to sell property West Palmer Avenue and Wabash Street. The petitioner is David Leone. C is a resolution proposing to sell property at 3011 West 4th Street. The petitioner is the Wall Street Mission. 12 are applications for beer and liquor license. 13 boards and commissions and committee minutes. Anyone to be heard on any of those items? Board, I'll move that.
Second.
Waters?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
O'Kane?
Aye.
Shaner?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye. 15 is a motion appointing one of the following 2 applicants to the Human Rights Commission to complete the balance of the 3-year term expiring June 30th, 2025, replacing Chris Jensen. I would move, I know him as Tito Parker.
Second. I was just going to comment before motions, but that's fine. A motion's been moved and seconded. All I was going to say was I actually found it encouraging that I believe it's pronounced Ali, gentleman had applied. And I guess the reason that I was drawn to that application more than Tito is I think that all of us would say, sit up here and say that Tito goes above and beyond for our community, serves in a number of different capacities. We're lucky to have him as an asset in our community. And I have no doubt that he'll continue serving in the future, whether it's on our boards and commissions or in other capacities. Where my head was going when I was looking over these 2 applications is you have one gentleman that's ingrained in the community, serving in multiple capacities, and will likely continue to do so. On the other hand, you have a gentleman that is brand new to our community, or not brand new. He's been here, I think, a couple years. To my knowledge, this is the first board or commission that he's ever applied for, at least as far as the city goes. And so I just wanted to continue to encourage that. And then I guess the final thing that I would say as far as the difference in them as well is, given his religious background as well as the capacity that he's serving at Mercy, I really think that we should do everything we can to encourage individuals representing different faiths, but also different areas, different cultures, all of those things. That's why I really felt moved for Ali Ahuani to be able to serve in that.
Well, that's fine. I don't
As did I.
think Tito's going to take it personally if you vote no, and then you can make a new motion.
Correct. And I guess I was just saying if I say no to your motion, I just wanted people to know kind of where I was coming from.
Good.
Moore?
Aye.
O'Kane?
Aye.
Shaner,
No.
Scott,
Aye.
Waters.
No.
16 is a hearing resolution approving plans and specs for the West 8th Street reconstruction project. I'll move that.
Second.
Hearing's now open. Is anyone to be heard?
Is it Dave? Can you explain just the funding of this, the potential funding of this program? I'm looking at the financial impact write-up that Gordon had submitted. Can you just help me with it a little bit, please?
Let me take a second here.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, I think because we have, this was a project that we pushed back last year, so I think he was getting funds. There were some funds that were left over from Morningside that will now come back into the, what it is, we take everything out of 133 and then put it into the individual projects when they're let. So there was funds left over. Those are getting pushed back, and they're going to cover the shortfall of this project.
Okay. So this isn't tied in with the American Rescue
No.
funds?
No, this is our normal reconstruction program.
And this isn't taking away from any other projects then, if I go into those other fund accounts?
So we, depending on how bids come, we could have in it right now, we're looking at on the bottom of our list would be Perry Lane. That if we're short, Perry Lane may get bumped, just like this one got bumped last year because of lack of funds.
Oh, I see what you're saying. This one was on our
It was supposed to be,
program.
we were hoped that it was going to start last year.
Okay.
And because we were short funds, it got bumped, and now that's.
And there isn't an issue, is there, Dave, with the April 2023 start date?
No.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else be heard? Seeing none, the hearing is closed.
O'Kane,
Aye.
Shaner. Aye. Scott,
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
17 is a resolution adopting construction documents for the Hamilton Boulevard resurfacing project. I'll move that.
Second.
Shaner. Aye. Scott,
Want to ask a question? I'm sorry, and I should have asked before you started calling the roll. Are you bidding, you're patching a bunch, is it all concrete patch, or is there asphalt on some of the patchwork?
I'd assume the patches are probably concrete and asphalt overlay.
Well, is it all getting overlaid from whatever, 36 to the city limits? It's
Yeah.
all getting overlaid?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And last year we bid it doing it at night. We changed that because that's one of the reasons. Well, it was expensive and we only got one bidder. And our other local supplier said he doesn't want to work at night because it was an operator.
Okay. Thank you. Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
O'Kane.
Aye.
Okay, citizen concerns. Are there any citizens be heard? Please come to the mic. State your name and address for the record.
Mayor, I thought Council Member O'Kane was the first one to vote on that one.
Want me to recall it?
Could we
In case I
please?
got lost?
Yeah, let's do that,
That's
please.
just fine. Let's try that one more time. So we're revoting on item number 17, just to make sure I got it right. O'Kane,
Aye.
Shaner. Aye. Scott,
Aye.
Waters,
Aye.
Moore.
Aye, thank you.
You're welcome.
Now your name and address, please, and
Yes.
go ahead.
Jackie Stellish, 5415 Bushnell. I'm here today on behalf of our local group of Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America. Gun safety is on the ballot in Iowa this year, and voters will consider a constitutional amendment that states the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The sovereign state of Iowa affirms and recognizes this right to be a fundamental individual right. Any and all restrictions of this right shall be subject to strict scrutiny. Strict scrutiny is not in the U.S. Second Amendment. Strict scrutiny is what makes this amendment very different and very extreme. So what is it and what will it do? It requires that a judge determine that a challenged law furthers a compelling government interest and is narrowly tailored to achieve that interest. Gun lobby claims that strict scrutiny amendments restore the right to keep and bear arms, when what they really do is threaten public safety laws, forcing judges to apply the highest judicial standard when analyzing firearm-related laws. The standard is not required by the Supreme Court's recent decision. Only 3 other states have a similar version: Alabama, Louisiana, and Missouri. All 3 rank in the top 5 for highest rates of gun deaths in the U.S. In Louisiana, after strict scrutiny passed, a convicted domestic abuser challenged the constitutionality of a state law prohibiting possession of a firearm by people convicted of misdemeanor domestic violence crimes. After strict scrutiny amendments passed in Louisiana and Missouri, convicted felons challenged state laws that prohibit felons from possessing firearms. At least one lower court found that Louisiana's law prohibiting felons from having guns was unconstitutional. Fortunately, the Supreme Court reversed the ruling. This extreme approach would invite frivolous litigation, undermine decades of case law in the state courts, and put in jeopardy many moderate common sense gun laws. Right now, we in Iowa are able to keep felons from having firearms. We are able to keep perpetrators of domestic violence from having firearms. We're, for the most part, keeping guns out of our schools. And we are keeping restrictions on other dangerous offensive weapons like machine guns. These are the types of laws, if challenged under this extreme version of the Second Amendment, might be declared unconstitutional. So basically, I'm here today to ask the board to take a stand for gun safety. If you can, pass a resolution in opposition to this dangerous amendment, Public Measure 1, and help me spread the message to let voters know this proposed amendment is too extreme for our schools and families. Turn the ballot over and vote no. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie.
Appreciate it, Jackie.
Anyone else? Mr. O'Kane.
I will be brief. First off, Jackie, thank you very much for bringing that up. I think it's important that we continue to examine how those laws are developing and changing. The proposed resolution will make things more dangerous, not less dangerous for our city. I think if you talk to any of our local police officers, they would echo that sentiment. With things like ghost guns becoming more prevalent on our city streets and shootings becoming more common, this is being presented as a guise to protect people's rights to bear arms, but that truly is not what the case is. So whether you're for it or against it, I would just hope that everybody would take the time to read through the actual resolution to better learn what it's stating. With that said, the only other thing that I wanted to bring up is tonight at 7 p.m. is a town hall meeting with the Sioux City Police Department, the Neighborhood Network, and Downtown Partners. It's at the museum. Make sure that you show up and let your voice be heard. Our police department is always willing to have a conversation. That's what makes them so great. So take some time out of your day, and I will attend remotely. So see you there.
Okay, Julie.
I don't have a lot, but what I do want to say is we have an extreme flag warning, burn warning out right now because of the wind and the extreme dryness of everything in the Siouxland area. Even if we have a little bit of dew on the lawns in the morning, it's gone in no time, so it's not going to stop anything. So let's just be very careful with the fire pits, with mowing. If there's any leaves or anything that gets stuck under the mower that could start anything on fire. They just evacuated a town not too far from us because of a wildfire that was out of control, a field fire. So it happens very easily, and we had a field go up of our own from a neighbor's that jumped the fence a couple of years ago, and it's unbelievable how fast that fire can spread in these winds. So I just ask that everyone be conscious and be extra safe out there with any kind of burning. We shouldn't be doing any.
Okay, Alex?
The only thing I was going to mention as far as meetings, Matthew already had covered, so I'm hoping to make it myself to that Downtown Partners meeting along with our PD and Neighborhood Network to be able to have that conversation. The second thing that I was going to ask about is someone had approached me and I didn't have time to look it up or call anyone today. What is our ordinance, or do we know our ordinance on chickens in the city limits? Does anyone know that off the top of their head?
I think
I do. You have to, oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Matthew.
Go ahead.
So for chickens, sorry, I had some weird audio feedback there. I know that you have to apply for a permit. You have to be so many feet away from residential property, and it has to be approved through inspections.
Does that sound about right, Nicole?
It does. I think they have to be confined. I'll try to pull up the ordinance here, but I believe it's less than 5 and no roosters, only hens. I'll try to find it real quick here.
Okay. That was the only question or concern that I had received this week, so thanks.
Mr. Moore.
Okay, Mayor, a week from today, the 31st, we do not have a city council meeting. But that same evening, we have Halloween trick or treat, and it's our priority that there is safety at all times with children doing the trick or treating, with motorists, and with, yes, the weather. So please be safe. That's all I have, Mayor.
If there's an ice storm next week, I will be out of town. You've always wanted to declare an emergency. That's going to be all on you, Mr. Moore.
You know, the year we had the ice storm, it was very difficult to stop a vehicle in the street.
So we'll see how you like that. I'm going to let you do that. I move we adjourn.
You make a note of that, Mr. Padmore, second?
Yeah. Call Dan Moore, don't call Bob Scott.
I second.
Shaner.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
O'Kane.
Aye.
Thanks, Matthew, for signing on.